Morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Success Mentorship class number 362. Thank you so much for joining us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. And most of all, thanks so much for our mastermind group on Zoom. Today is going to be a very, very special day because we have a guest. One of our members is speaking today, Dawn Lovell. And Dawn, actually, we go back many years, is a graduate of one of the first New You for the New Year seminars. We used to do an 8-week seminar called New You for the New Year. And Dawn was one of the participants in that seminar, and everybody there has accomplished their goals. So she's an author, a speaker, a consultant, and she's going to have a powerful message for you today. Also, want to invite you to visit our website, herbertharris.com, and schedule a success consultation. A lot of our programs and courses are there, and you can schedule a success consultation to talk directly with me so that we can see if there's anything we can do to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. So before we get started now, let's take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and in this space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And then the space of peace and relaxation. Our minds are open, receptive, and ready to learn. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us whisper it. My mind is open, receptive, ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. All right, and everybody can hear me. I know, so that we are ready to go on this journey together. Dawn, we can't wait to hear your message. So let me bring you up on the screen. Wow. And let's go with it. Let's see. Let's see. Dawn, there we are. Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. Good morning to our mastermind group. Good morning to all of those that are joining us online on Instagram and on YouTube. It is a wonderful Saturday morning as the first Saturday and the first day of February. Wow. And the year is moving along so very quickly. So we got a lot to talk about today because we've already passed 31 days in January and we can see 2025 has started with a bang. So there's much that we want to accomplish this year, but we need to have the right strategies, the tools, and everything else that's necessary for us to have a successful year so that as this new you for the new year emerges, that we will be aligned with everything that we have desired in our hearts to accomplish this year. So, good morning again to everybody. Hope you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I have a message for you today, and my message is entitled Like Attracts Like. And that's not light as in L-I-G-H-T, it's like as in L-I-K-E. Like attracts like. And one of the things I just want to encourage everybody on here, everybody that's watching me, that was going to watch this now and in the future, if you do not have a copy of the book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, you are doing your life a disservice. I will tell you, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's right up there with the Bible. And there's so many of these principles in the 12 universal laws of success that aligns with the word. And I promise you, if you read this book, if you digest this book, if you meditate on this book, and if you execute what this book says, you are assured that you're going to be en route to success. So today, let's talk about like attracts like. Now, the ninth universal law of success is the one on the law of relationships. And for those of you that have your book at hand, you can go there with me. If you don't, as I said, you're missing out. You really need to get this book, a beautiful yellow book. You will see it in the background of my mentor's screen, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And in this chapter, it really talks about the four basic relationships. It talks about your relationship with God, your relationship with self, your relationship with others, and your relationship with things. And it's so important that we understand the importance of relationships to our life and to our success. We cannot do this alone. No man is an island. We've always heard that. No man is an island. And sometimes we operate in silos, we operate in isolation, and we think that this cute success that we want, these goals that we set for ourselves, these desires that are within our heart, that these are things that we can accomplish on our own. And we have to understand that we need people. We need people in order to accomplish our success. And that's why we're all here on this mastermind group. And again, I will encourage you, for those of you that are watching on social media, check us out, 12uls.org. We're here on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join our group, because this is where the eagles all flock together. All right, this is where the eagles come on Saturday morning. So, like attract like. What does that mean? Now, in Barbados, as many of you know, I'm from Barbados, and there was always a saying, birds of a feather flock together. I don't know how many, other parts of the world, how many of you have that same saying, but they say birds of a feather flock together. And usually they said that in a very negative context, though. It was like, who are your friends? And if your friends, if everybody's going in the wrong direction, well, if you join with them, you too will be going in the wrong direction. If you have a group of friends and all of them were stealing and all of them were doing negative things, well, you're going to fall into that same trap. But how many of you know the opposite is also true? Birds of a feather do flock together. And those that are eagles that are coming together, now eagles, they usually fly alone though. But if you have a same eagle mindset and you are with a group that has that mindset, how many of you know that you are going to soar? How many of you know that because you just happen to be in that vicinity of another eagle, because that eagle understands what it means to fly, that eagle understands what it is to go to high heights, that eagle understands the parameters of what has been given. And in that space, you too develop the characteristics of being an eagle. Now, let's talk about this a little further, because in the 12 universal laws of success, we talk about our relationship with self. And our relationship with self is so very important before we even think about our relationship with others. You have to know who you are at the core of your being. Before you can think about what are the relationships in my life, you got to think about what is my relationship with me? How do I see me? How do I see my future? What are the conversations I'm having with myself? Before we talk about relationships with others, before we talk about conversations with others, what are the conversations I have with my head daily? What are the thoughts that are running through my mind daily? Because if we don't understand that first and foremost, Our relationships that we're trying to have, we're going to find that we might have some relationships that we're not necessarily congruent with where we want to go. They're not necessarily aligned with what we want to go. And I want you to understand that whatever you think about, whatever you set your mind to, is what is going to be attracted into your life. So one of the first questions I want to ask you, because today is going to be a session, I'm going to ask you to be very introspective. You know, I like to be introspective. What it does for me, it helps me to recognize whether or not I'm in alignment with where I need to go. Am I in alignment with what I'm saying I want to achieve? And sometimes you have to pause and you have to ask yourself some really hard questions. So this is the first question I'm going to ask you. Are you seeing what you desire in your life? Because sometimes we're speaking something, but we're not seeing the manifestation of it in our life in the now. And I want to ask you that question again. Write it down and ponder on it. Are you seeing what you desire in your life? Question number 2. Are you seeing the relationships you desire in your life? Let's understand something. Your level of thinking is going to equal your level of success. What do you mean, Dawn? All right. So if you are, Dr. Harris always alludes to this, if you are an eagle, you cannot have turkey level thinking. It's not going to work. You're never going to fly. Turkeys don't fly. So many of us are spirits. We have eagle spirits. But somehow we have turkey thinking. We have turkey thinking. Now, an eagle is probably at the top of some mountaintop, some very tall tree with a nest, and he's seeing all around him. He can see things that somebody on the ground cannot see. And if you have an eagle spirit with turkey thinking, you are going to be just seeing what's around you in your immediate environment. When an eagle starts to soar and he spreads his wings, I want you to visualize this with me. It looks like, if you've ever watched an eagle, it looks like this tower of a bird, it just seems, everything seems limitless. It seems as if there are no barriers because where they fly, there's no limit. The thing about when you are an eagle and you fly that high up, and as we go higher, we recognize, they always say the oxygen and the air, there's a lot thinner. If you're flying low, there's plenty of oxygen for everybody. But if you're soaring high, there's a limited amount of oxygen up there. And you have to do several things. One, you have to conserve your oxygen, which means you cannot be expending energy on multiple things at the same time. Things that don't require you to expend energy, you need to be conserving that energy for the things that you need to do so that you can soar. That's very important. Many of us, we are weighed down. We are weighed down to the turkey level of thinking because we're carrying so much baggage. We're consuming so much air and energy that we really should be focusing on that thing that we need to accomplish, on that vision that we have, on that dream that we're working on that goal that you said you're going to accomplish in 2025. You have to conserve your energy. So you can't afford to be at a lower level where everything, your energy is being expended in so many different areas. You know, there's a great matrix, and I think this was in the book, the 7 most highly effective people. I think that's what it's called. Somebody can correct me, by Stephen Covey. 7 effective habits of a successful person. I might be quoting that title wrong, but you know what I mean. And it talks about these different quadrants in your life. It talks about what's important, what's urgent, what's not important, and not urgent. And we have to be able to separate our lives, because the majority of our lives we need to spend in the segment that is important but not urgent, which means we're spending time planning, which means we're spending time not on all those emergency or seemingly emergency situations that people are calling you with. We have to be able to assess where we are because like attracts like. And many of us, if we look at the relationships in our lives, some of us, we ask ourselves, why do I seem to be keep attracting this kind of person? Why is it that these particular things seem to keep coming into my life? Can I tell you? Maybe it's because like is attracting like. You know, there's a great scripture in the book of Job, and it says, the thing I feared most has come upon me. What that is saying is there was a thought that he had that dominated his frontal lobe. There was a thought that even though he tried his best, because it said the thing he feared most, which means there were other things, but this was the one thing that dominated his mind. And that thing became manifested in his life. What's dominating your mind? Because whatever is dominating your mind is what you're attracting to yourself. Is it that you want more money? Have you seen yourself living a life of abundance? Or are you operating in a sphere of lack? Are your thoughts? Yes, somebody shared it. Thank you, Christine. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Thank you, by Stephen Covey. Wonderful book. So I want to ask you today, what are your thoughts on one of the laws in the 12 universal laws of success is the law of thought. Because that principle, what it says is whatever you think about, so you shall be. So I want you to assess yourself. Remember that question. Are you seeing what you desire in your life? And if you are not, what is it that I'm attracting? That's very, very important. You see, when you have come to a particular level of understanding, you have to know your entire environment and atmosphere must change. So if you're attracting success, you must dress for success. You must speak of success. You must walk of success. You must be success. One of our mastermind groups, she always says it, and I love what she says. She says, who am I be? Who I be? Who I be? I be is so very, very important. Ask yourself, who am I? Am I walking in the manifestation of even what I'm saying? Because many of us, we're prophesying things and declaring things with our mouths, but we are not seeing the manifestation in our life because we're not in alignment. Our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions are not in alignment. Like attracts like. You know, one of the stories I've always heard is of persons that won lotteries or people that had overnight success. And you might say, well, Dawn, if you said like attracts like, there are people that they have overnight success. There are people, that they win the lottery and all this wonderful thing. But can I tell you, research says about 70 of the people that win the lottery, they actually go broke in 3 to 5 years. Think about that. For those people that experience overnight fame, many of them within 5 to 10 years, they've lost all of what they've gained. Athletes, celebrities, actors, actresses, a lot of them. And why does that happen? Because unfortunately, even though they were able to attain this measure of success, they didn't have the mindset to maintain the level of success. So that's another question I'm going to ask you. You may be in an environment where you're seeing some measure of success. You may have become an overnight success. You may now be stepping into a season of your life where things are beginning to happen and you're beginning to see doors open up and opportunities come to you. But have you developed a mindset in order not just to attain, but to maintain? That's what we need to do. We need to develop a mindset, not just to attain, because some of us, because of strategy, because of certain circumstances, because of certain relationships we've developed, because of circles we've come into, we may have been able to attract success. But how many of you know it's a different level of understanding to maintain success? There is a wisdom that is necessary. So, how do we do this? There's a frequency. There's a frequency. And that frequency to attract is not the same frequency to maintain. You have to believe, one, that I'm being called to this. You have to believe that you are deserving and worthy of the success. That's why a lot of people don't maintain it. Because one, they got it, but they never had the belief system in order to maintain it. So they got it, but as soon as they got it, it left them. And can I tell you, success is something, they don't leave success, success leaves them. They don't leave success. They don't leave fame. Fame leaves them. Why is that? Because there is a certain frequency that you must operate on in order to maintain. That's very important. So I want you to be really searching deep and asking yourself, because I know for all of us, there's a level of success we want to attain, whatever that looks like. It might be family, it might be relationships, it might be money, it might be business, it may be some dream that you have been given. All of us want to achieve that level of success, but ask yourself, if this success shows up, one, is it going to recognize me where I am right now? You see, what happens to many of us, sometimes success comes knocking at our door. But unfortunately, because we have not evolved into the greater version of the person that we need to be in order to attain and sustain the success, it doesn't recognize us. It's looking at you and it's saying, but this person looks like Dawn. I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm saying, there's a prayer that's gone up. There's a desire that's gone out. There's a frequency. They've started to tune into this particular frequency. And I know that this is what they're searching for because your spirit is going to call for it. So it's looking for you just as you're looking for it. But it shows up and it starts to look and it says, but this is not the form. This is not the form of Dawn that I need in order for me to be able to align with what she desires. I have this for her, but somehow there's some things there that still haven't quite evolved. Have you evolved? Has your level of thinking changed? In corporate, we talk about upskilling, but I want you to understand it's not even just about a technical skill. Those skills are very important, but it's a mental skill, it's a heart skill, it's a spirit skill that you need to develop. So very important. So very important. So, how do you develop these? One, you need to know, entrench yourself and become submerged into that thing that you desire, whatever that looks like. If it's a business, whatever that looks like, if it's a great relationship, you need to entrench yourself. You need to submerge yourself. You need to immerse yourself into that thing, the knowledge of that thing. What is all the information surrounding that thing? What is the information that I need to know? How do I use this thing to get the best out of it? What is the wisdom I need? What is the understanding I need to understand the operations that are necessary to sustain this thing? Because many of us, we think, yes, we can just acquire it. We might just again come into an opportunity and that's wonderful, but that's just the beginning. Remember, like attracts like, and if you have not developed the mindset, if you have not developed the skill set, if you have not developed the frequency, if you have not become a congruent in thought, word, deed, actions, behavior, what is going to happen? Your like is going to attract back the like that you were attracting before. And that's why many people revert back. They see a measure of success and they keep going back. Many people, what happens to them is that they come into a session like this. You have a wonderful speaker, you're motivated, and everything is wonderful. You're in sessions like this where your spirit is elevated and you feel excited and inspired. But then you go back home or you go back to your regular modus operandi, your regularly scheduled program of operation, and you find yourself back in turkey thinking, even though you just came out of an Eagle class. You just came out of an Eagle class. They're teaching you to be an eagle. They're teaching you how to fly. They're teaching you how to see beyond because eagles have such great vision. They're how to see beyond. But then you come out of that environment and you land yourself back into the turkey class. Now, turkeys are great. They're wonderful. They provide food, you know, they do what they're supposed to do. And then you can get to decide, do I want to be a turkey or do I want to be an eagle? You see, a turkey is somebody's prey. Think about it. That turkey is being prepared for a particular purpose. That turkey is somebody's prey. More than likely, you're seeing that turkey on your table at Thanksgiving. You're not seeing that eagle on your table. So I want us to develop a level of thinking where we understand what is necessary for us to maintain the level of success that we desire. You need to read, you need to become educated, you need to research, and you need to become. We always talk about, I know who I am and whose I am. But if you really understand that, there's a scripture that says, know ye not that ye are gods. Not that we are God, but that we are gods, which means we carry the DNA within us. Are you thinking on that level? Are you thinking on that level? Or are you saying the thing I feared most has come upon me? These are the things. So I'm going to leave you now with these things to ponder on. I want you to, first of all, sit long enough. Sit long enough. Quiet your spirit and sit long enough to allow the atmosphere of success to envelop you. To allow your thoughts, your breathing, the very core of your being to envelop success and what that looks like. I want you to spend time researching, reading, engulfing yourself in everything that has to do with that success that you're looking for. You must be immersed in it. You must master it. Whatever that thing is, you must become a master at it. Mastery is what you need to develop. You need to join more groups of eagles, persons that are going in the same direction as you. They may not all look like you, but their thinking is what you're going after. Finally, there are two questions I want to ask you. Well, there's one question. Is what you are seeking you? And secondly, if what you deem as success showed up on your doorstep today, would it recognize you? How you are, where you are right now. If that $1 million showed up on your bank account, that $10 million, that $5 billion showed up in your bank account today, would you know what to do with it? Do you understand the investment that's necessary? Do you understand what comes with that? So if we want success, we must understand what comes with it. There's an atmosphere that comes with it. There's a thinking that comes with it. There's a preparation that comes with it. There's an execution that comes with it. It doesn't just show up just because. And if you're fortunate enough that you've been blessed that this comes into your space, even unexpectedly, you have to know now, how do I maintain it? And your prayer must be, I need the level of wisdom and understanding in order to maintain this level of success, this level of relationship. This is the month of February. Dr. Harris talked about love last week. What is love? If that person showed up on your doorstep tomorrow, that new love, that new romance that you were looking for, that you're seeking, this person in your life that you want to have a life partnership with. Are you ready to receive that level of love? And are you ready to give it? Or are you sitting over there just waiting and hoping it will come? And then when it shows up, you can't sustain it. You're not ready for it. So, as I wrap up today, I want to thank you so much. I know I've given you a lot to think about. I myself have been pondering on these things. Dawn, if success showed up on your doorstep, are you ready? Are your thoughts attracting what you want into your life? Have you aligned yourself? Have you positioned yourself that when success turns up, it recognizes you? It says, yes, she's been prepared. She's been waiting on this. She's ready for it. Her thoughts are aligned. She's been speaking it. She's been dressing it. She be it. Because many times her success is just hovering. It's always there. It's waiting for the right place to land. It's waiting for the right place to land. So will you be that runway today that success can say, yes, this runway is cleared for me to land. That plane that's coming in, that 747, that Boeing 747 that's preparing to land with your goods and your packages and all of the good things that you want in life, it's looking for somewhere to land. And when the tower calls and the frequency has been connected, and the tower says, this flight is prepared to land. Is your runway ready? So, on that note, I want to thank you so much for indulging me today. Another wonderful success mentorship session, Dr. Harris, 362 sessions. We're going strong. And I invite you to continue to tune in Success Mentorship every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where the Eagles come together because we are on a trajectory of growth, development, and success. So God bless you. Dr. Harris, I turn over to you.
Dawn, Dawn, you are ready. You are ready. You are absolutely ready. I hear the confidence in your voice. I hear the level of understanding that exudes from your presentation. Judith says, Jonathan said, fire, 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 fire all the way. Your energy, your projection. So thank you so very much. I know that the group can't wait to talk. I was just mesmerized. I was watching it on my phone on YouTube, and I could see it lighting up YouTube. So thank you so much, Dawn. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on online, and of course those in our mastermind group, we thank you so very, very much. We invite you to come back each and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. We have myself and numerous other great speakers and thinkers like Dawn and so many others that are part of this program. So I say to our guests on YouTube, like this program, make some comments, and share it with other people. Be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com. Schedule a success consultation, and whatever you do, get your copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success because it will help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. Thank you so much. And now we'll have our discussion on our mastermind.